can't believe it. 200 episodes of Co-Pilot.
What other things have you done 200 of in your time?
Push-ups?
Do you think you've eaten 200 steaks?
Not even close.
Yeah,
I
don't
don't
think so
really.
either.
I don't really like steak. It wouldn't be a go-to.
Have you had 200 portions of fish and chips?
Yes, almost definitely.
I'm just trying to think. Do you think how many? Yeah, no, we've definitely had more than 200 sausages.
200
Definitely.
beers easily.
200 beers. I did that when I was 22. Have you read 200 books? Yeah, we've read 200 books easily, haven't we?
Yeah. Oh, I read 100 books in a year. I think.
There you go.
I mean, we'll scout over the fact that 48 of them are Mr. Men books. but
it got you over the line.
Yeah. Got me over the line. No one even clocked that Mr. Clever was number 100.
I did. I clocked that one. I'm sure.
I mean, I genuinely had to count them out to make sure it was going to be 100.
So you would think that the maths works then. If this is 200 episodes, we've watched 400 pilot episodes. But somehow, I did the maths on our spreadsheet and it doesn't add up to 400 episodes. Oh, no. Because we've done other special episodes, haven't we?
Top fives and...
Yeah,
so
that's true.
8 top fives, which takes out... Well, 7 top fives that we've recorded so far.
And there'll be another one at the end of
7 times 2, that's 14 down. And then I think there's some missing episodes. Because we've watched them.
Yeah.
But we can't count them because Japanese
the dreaded,
Spider-Man.
Yeah, the Spider-Man. Oh, that was good. I enjoyed that one. We talk about that one like every time we do some sort of reflective show. Like,
I know. I think it's quite because it's I think we've only had it a couple of times where a recording hasn't gone well and we haven't just redone it.
Yes, there has been a couple, isn't there? Like where there was one. I cannot remember what episode it was, but we recorded it, realised that my audio hadn't recorded it, and we recorded it again immediately.
Yeah.
That wasn't good.
No, I think you could definitely... I don't even remember which episode it is, but I imagine it wouldn't be that hard to work out, because it'd just be two tireder sounding people than normal.
Yeah.
And we probably introduced it as like, we've already done this once.
How many house moves has the 200 episodes seen us through? I've moved 3 times since we started this.
Is it 3? From parents to flat to house.
Oh yeah, no, that is 2, isn't it? Okay, so 3 dwellings.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was counting. That's where I went wrong.
Well, we started this. I've done Hastings, Manchester, Bal and Wimbledon here. So I'm on my 5th dwelling. 4 moves.
That's not bad. Yeah.
So we thought through to a mortgage.
Yeah,
it won't contribute, but it might see me through to my emotional support podcast.
When's this one going out? I'm wondering if
after Ireland. It's October 25th currently.
Okay.
We're recording this day off, obviously.
Yeah. It is the 25th of October. Oh, tell you what, I'm looking forward to Halloween, as I am every year. Wasn't it lovely?
Don't you start looking forward to Halloween on the 1st of November?
The 1st of January, mate.
No, the 1st of November is the day after Halloween.
Oh, sorry, I see what you did there.
That's much earlier.
Yeah. I tell you what, wasn't it lovely seeing Nick and Amy getting married? I can't believe that happened.
I can't believe Jack objected like that.
That was taught because we, obviously, many, many months ago now, in August, we had just come back from Nick's stag do. And there was talk of a final task because I ran a Taskmaster game for his whole stag do. The final task of the show is to stand up and shout, "I object," at the appropriate moment.
God!
But that one's double points. You're getting a whole 10 points for that one, so could be worth it.
That's to take home a shiny head. That's worth it.
We do have. I showed you the trophy, didn't I?
You showed me that and the spray paint that you put in your bin.
Yeah. Oh man, do you know what? It was good fun that weekend. But we've got something. This was your idea actually, wasn't it? We'll come up with something slightly different for episode 200.
Yeah, something slightly different, very unique. I've never seen it done anywhere before.
No. In fact, I think it is what it can only be described as the most original podcast idea.
Yeah, that I shamelessly stole from some insignificant other podcast that I've heard about.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Where it was, I suppose, Elephant in the Room, your podcast, stole it from there.
What? I do another one?
Well, you did.
That's very accurate. Do you know what? I so can't be asked to carry on with it in a minute, so maybe it'll come
You
back.
never know. Halloween's a good time for horror stuff.
Well, yeah.
So who knows, between now and then, in the
knows?
next 5 days, 6 days.
Who knows? Oh, yeah. Oh, I better get on it quick.
Yeah. Can't wait to see that Mike Flanagan episode.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That's not happening, is it? It was never gonna, but, you know. You got to dream big. You got to aim high. Shoot for the stars, you'll hit the moon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I did hit the moon because I spoke to lots of lovely people for that thing. So that was good.
Yeah. And so that's what I've stolen. I've stolen blind optimism.
Yeah. You can't go wrong, can you? You're
Yeah.
bulletproof with that. So
That, and I stole the question thing.
Yes, that too. So Richard's come up with a series of questions that we're both going to answer about our time watching all of the pilot episodes that we've watched over been doing this show. I'll tell you what. Do you want to? Do you want me to ask you the first question, and then you can talk about a show?
Yeah, that could work. That's the thing. We never really do. This is the most planning we've actually ever done for a podcast, and we're still shit.
Yeah. Other than like actually watching the fucking things, this is the most thought we've put into an actual episode.
Yeah, we sat for a whole half an hour thinking of questions, and then both panicked yesterday and went, "Shit, we need answers to the questions." And it was only because I remember, and I was like, I wonder if Joe's even got the questions, or all of the questions.
I did have them. I just didn't have them immediately about my person, so I got them anyway. All right. So the first question, you came up with all these questions, and let me tell you, they are excellent questions. The first question I have for you, do you know what? I might try and make a note of what you write down as well. Actually, I don't need to. You've got it.
Yeah.
Which show were you surprised by the most?
So this was one of the most difficult questions.
They're all pretty tough.
Yeah, in 388 pilot episodes.
Is that how many it is? Wow.
Yeah. We do actually. It'll be 388 by the end of this year, I think.
Yeah.
Going through all of them and being like, that is the one.
But also looking back at 8 years and go, oh, I remember being surprised by this.
Yeah.
You know?
But I went back and I found, I think it's season 4. Yeah, season 4, episode 2. It was Atypical.
Oh,
was,
nice.
I think, the show that I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really, I fondly remember that episode. I thought that was one of the best discussions that we'd had on that episode in particular, because it was, what was it? It was Atypical, and was it The Good Nurse, The Good Doctor? Was it that one?
We didn't do it with The Good
later?
Doctor, but that would have been appropriate. But no, we did it with Friends from College, which is not
Friends
maybe.
from College, that was it. Do you know, I nearly
Yeah.
put that, thinking about it, the Atypical, but I did kind of think that it might appear on your list, so I thought I'll leave that one to you.
Yeah. Well, I've watched every single episode, and I think I've watched some of season 1 twice. But I don't find it's not like comfort telly. It's just really lovely, thoughtful telly. And I think, because I read I think it was like the blurb, and it's like, because it's a bit drama, a bit comedy, and it's like that with autism. And I'm like, I don't know if that's going to be the joke. And I hope not. I think going into it, I was like, I hope it's not the joke. And then I watched it and I was like, oh, it is absolutely not the joke. Everyone else is the joke.
I feel like if like autism and autistic people, if they were the target of the joke, I don't think Netflix would have gone anywhere near it.
I also think we'd have probably watched the pilot and gone, nah,
Fuck this
we're
shit.
not even going to discuss it.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
Because I think generally overall we don't shy away from like big topics or shows that we know are controversial, because sometimes they come up by accident.
Well, not even controversial, but like I'm thinking of the what was
worst
the
show we've ever watched?
say again?
Entourage. The worst show we've ever watched.
No, there was one that we did. It was about the kids in Central Park.
Oh, Now They See Us.
When They See Us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you say, we're quite happy discussing shows that are about topics that are just I guess you could level the not the genre but the theme of like looking at social injustice and that sort of thing. And I don't think we're afraid to voice our opinions on that sort of thing. So
yeah.
But yeah,
luckily,
atypical.
in that situation, we didn't have to, because it's good and it's funny. It's well-meaning, and it's just fucking, and it holds up. 4 seasons, all good. Or 3 seasons, a multiple number of seasons, all very good.
Over one series.
Yeah, they've definitely made more than one, but it's one of those ones that I think I'll always be sort of like, in a weird way, I want to forget it so I can watch it again.
Oh, that would have been a good question, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the trouble is, it's every show I've ever enjoyed.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I wish I had your memory. It's what I'm saying.
I can't remember what you're talking about.
Well, in the spirit of that, what show surprised you the most? Because I wrote these initially to be a very one-sided thing, as my revenge for you letting me drag myself kicking and screaming onto your podcast.
Well, I mean, I don't think any of these apart from one, I didn't have an instant. Okay, I absolutely know where I'm going with this one. And the show that I've written that I was surprised by the most, I don't know if you'd ever guessed that I would put this one, to be honest, because
If it's Gilmore Girls, I would have.
in fact, all of them I've got Gilmore Girls, which was genuinely, that was quite tempting to just put that for a lot of
it was really hard not to just, for every answer, just be like, here is another way I've squeezed Gilmore Girls into the answer.
Yeah. So the answer that I've written for my list of the show that I was surprised by the most was, and I hopefully you remember this one because it was all the way back 2018 series 3. I wrote down Spotless. Do you remember Spotless?
The cleaning one.
The French cleaning one.
Yeah, where they stumble upon a drug deal or something.
Yeah, that's it. So it's the cleaner.
And they carry the fridge.
His brother. That's the one. Yeah, it's his brother shows up and then like starts fucking around. He's got like criminal connections and stuff, and it's kind of like a dark comedy thing. And it starts disrupting his cleaning business.
That's the one that opens in the Bluefin building where
yes,
based.
Yeah, that's it.
Of course I remember that. I've recommended it to so many people I work with. It's like, our office, it's in this. You only need to watch the first 5 minutes. Someone jumps off a thing and go all the way down. But then I stopped showing it to people because I didn't want anyone to get ideas.
Well, as you're walking around, it's just giving you a little nudge over the railing.
Yeah. It's a long way down, isn't it?
So yeah, I just remember, like, when you watch something and you think, yeah, this completely is my sort of area of humour and all that sort of stuff. I just remember watching that thinking, and this is something that I've said often when we've been doing this, is like the ones I like the most are the ones I've not heard of. So watching this really odd, I'm so pleased we found this, like this French weird criminal caper, but in a genuinely dark way. Like there are some nasty stuff that happens, but it's fucking funny. I really, really liked it, and it's the one that like I suppose I've took that as, which show were you surprised by the most? For like, what show did you have absolutely no idea existed, and then it was brilliant? So yeah,
I think that still
I remember
stands.
really enjoying Spotless. I do want to. Oh my god! Sorry, some lads on mopeds have just gone past.
Yeah, it didn't sound like just one.
Yeah, but This road's supposed to be 20 miles an hour. That was definitely like a lot faster than that.
No, it's just mopeds sound a lot louder than they look.
I did catch them as they went out the window. Actually, it was quite quick. In fairness.
Yeah, because I think that definition of the question still stands for atypical. Because I'd never heard of it. It's just
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think it might have been recommended to me by someone, but I don't know if it was, or it might have just been sort of scrolling through Netflix, just trying to like. Sometimes that's how I put the list together. I'd scroll through, try and fill one column with new stuff from Netflix, and then shows like blank. But yeah,
That is
nice happy
I've-
accidents.
It's definitely proved very helpful for us when picking stuff for sure. So
Yeah, I think that might have been how I saw Spotless as well. Because what did we pair Spotless with? Was it-
Spotless was with Hustle.
Yeah,
Do you
those
me-
are.
Do you remember Hustle?
Oh, yeah, I remember. I've seen every single episode of Hustle.
Is Hustle the one with Mark Warren?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that one. Because there was that. I'm sure we discussed this in the episode, but like there was The Real Hustle as well, wasn't there? Do you remember that TV show?
Yeah, that was a pretty fun TV show, but yeah, I don't really see the link.
Oh well,
It's weird.
maybe
Do you
maybe
ever
it's
find
just
it when
like
we look
London
back
crime.
over the spreadsheet and just sort of go like, how in the fuck did those two shows get together?
Well, I don't think in the early days. I don't think we really paired them together too. Well, I say the first one we certainly didn't.
No, I think because the first one was like it's because we always envisioned it being like each of us picks a show and almost
Yeah.
like advocating for a show, and then that was going to be quite shit.
So then we
Because
just
one,
started
trying to
pair
get you to
them
pick
together.
shows because you've seen basically nothing.
Yeah, not as much as you.
It just be Buffy every week.
Listen, you could do a lot worse than doing a podcast that was rewatching the entirety of Buffy. Someone's already done it. That's the thing. I'm sure
Easily.
someone's already done it.
I think there's probably a lot of these shows have dedicated podcasts, but that's not what we are. We are
Nope.
very much jack of all trades.
We are a broad church.
Yes.
Let me ask you the second question then.
Ooh.
Do you have any inkling for what I might have put for any of these? Because I've got no idea what you're about to say.
Honestly, no. And that's, I think, what the fun is.
Yeah.
Because they're not quite the same sort of spooky shelf questions. Oh, I named the podcast I stole it from. Whoops.
Huh?
Because
I had no idea.
Your questions were a lot more thoughtful and like pick a thing of this sort of thing. And these are just very like, well, if you had to say a thing that sort of means this, but it's just an opening so we could discuss how much we like Gilmore Girls.
Yeah. That is literally it, isn't it? It's just we anchor it into Gilmore Girls as much as possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the show that I would have you actually asked the question?
I haven't asked the question yet.
Right,
so
ask the question.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
If you had to inhabit the universe of a single one of these shows, which show would it be? I don't think you're going to guess what I'm going to put for this. I've gone quite left field with mine.
Oh. So this is the first question I have two answers for. Because
is it Wheel of Time and Lord of the Rings?
it's neither of those actually features.
Oh, okay, right. I definitely know what it is now. Can I have a guess? Have another guess?
Yeah, have a guess.
Miss Maisel.
Almost made the list. Probably
Holy
should have made
shit.
the list.
Okay,
But
that's a
the
genuine
thing is, that
surprise.
was just kind of like stepping like 30 years back and moving to New York. And then getting to watch stand-ups
yeah.
who aren't allowed to say the stuff they can say now, which is good for a TV show, but would be quite shit if I went back knowing what I know now. I would get in a lot of trouble. Also, I'd steal a lot of full sets of comedians and just go back and be like, and I'd probably be arrested.
Hey, so that airplane food. What's an airplane? Oh, fuck.
Just wait until they get to the 9/11 stuff. You're going to be wondering about that for decades, and then you're going to be like, oh fuck, he really was from the future.
No, they'll just go, oh fuck, we know who did it.
Oh yeah, no, that would be bad. Yeah.
All right,
So anyway, one of the shows I picked is Obi-Wan.
Yeah, okay, that doesn't surprise me. That was very nearly one that I picked.
The reason I've written on my list of answers is because sneaking into Star Wars.
Yeah,
which
that
I think because
actually
it's
works
always.
quite a lot.
I don't actually think, as someone who grew up loving Star Wars, that it ever really goes away. And so even at 32 or nearly 33 when this goes out,
Oh shit, yeah.
I
It's your
would
birthday
still,
in a minute.
yeah, I would still go and live in Star Wars.
Yeah, I think you're right. That whole thing, it never goes away. I think that's something that a lot of people who aren't fans of stuff, I don't think they necessarily get. Because you're absolutely right. Even as I was looking at the list, I saw Obi-Wan, because I very nearly put Obi-Wan myself. And I saw that, and I remembered what it was like to be 12, 13, and I was thinking about Star Wars all day, every day, and I was writing stories and playing the games and all that sort of stuff. And I suddenly started to get really excited, like, oh yeah, I remember what it feels like to just think, oh man, you could do anything in Star Wars, you know?
Yeah, because you kind of get all the benefits that you get if you went to live in Lord of the Rings or Wheel of Time.
Just without the threat of death.
But with spaceships.
Yeah.
Because you still get your fancy swords if you qualify. You still get to move things around with your hands. Well, like magic almost. I was just like, I can already move things around with my hands. But you know, like with like the Force and magic, it's all sort of one in the same.
That's all
but
fine.
then there's also spaceships.
As long as you're not a fucking moisture farmer. You just all day, every day, oh great, I've got to drink this blue milk, then I've got to go to my fucking moisture farm and make sure that there's a few drops of water coming in. Then I'm washing sand out of my astromech, and it just, yeah.
But that's where Luke starts, and look where he ended up.
Yeah, that's very true.
Dying on a sandy planet. But no, I mean, I hate sand. It gets everywhere. Not where he actually died, but in the... It looks like he just... Yeah, fine, whatever.
What's your other answer? If it's not Obi-Wan then? Because I'm going to make you pick between the two.
Oh, if it's not Obi-Wan, it's Gilmore Girls. And all I've written is because comfy.
Yeah.
It'd be a really lovely place to live.
Do you mean you just want to live in Stars Hollow?
That is basically what I mean. I would... Yeah. If that's what America was really like...
Yeah, there's not a single
I'd
gun
live
in
there.
Gilmore Girls, is there?
No. Not any single one of them gets shot. They all make it through school. And it's... Yeah, it's just a really nice little town. And I would live there.
Yep. Yeah, but you go get good coffee every day.
Yeah. And the trouble is, it's hard to argue because no one there really works.
Mm.
And anyone who does work there basically spends half their time just hanging out. And it seems it's just really nice and cozy.
You just, if you're bored, you go put a brick through Taylor's window, and yeah, it sounds like a lovely time. Yeah. To be fair, it's not a million miles away from, you know, from the world we currently inhabit. So it's not a massive stretch.
Yeah, and to be fair to a lot of other shows that are set in quite nice little towns in America, I wrote off a lot of them because I was just like, it's too much like now. And then I was just like, yeah, but Gilmore Girls has to be there. Like, it has to.
Yeah. This will shock you. Gilmore Girls isn't an answer to any questions for me.
That's the only time it came up in mine.
Yeah. Well, I figure because
the rest of them are about improving the show.
Yeah.
So Gilmore Girls doesn't make a mention. But what universe would you inhabit if you had to?
If I had to, the universe that I'd exist in is it's quite an odd one, but it would be Twin Peaks.
Odd is the right answer. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, you know, this is based off the back of the pilot, but I have now made the fucking mopeds are back again.
The thing, I could hear it coming from miles away.
Jesus Christ, I do apologise, but it's very warm, so the windows are staying open. So I've not only watched the pilot, I am now quite a big chunk of the way through season 2 of Twin Peaks, and it's just so fucking batshit that I'd like to go there for a bit and then come back, because I'd like to go somewhere where, I mean, I know there's good coffee, because Dale Cooper keeps saying damn fine coffee.
I mean, there's always Luke's, but you know.
That's very true. I'd go and hang out in the diner and meet up with the log lady and hear her telling me what her log has to say. I would enjoy interacting with the giant and hearing him tell me that the owls are not what they seem. If there is a murder to be solved, I'll throw my hat in the ring. I'll try and help. Of course, no bother at all. I'll go down the beach and go, oh fuck, she's dead. Let's find out who's the.
Well, that's it, boys. Back to the pub.
Yeah, and also like it's like it shows that sort of logging town of America. Like I've always been obsessed with. Like it's what I imagine Portland, Oregon to be like. Although it's
because you look like a lumberjack.
Oregon. Where is Twin Peaks set? I can't remember where it's supposed to be set. Oh well, but it just looks like the kind of, you know, that's part of my idea of what I think America looks like a bit. So I'd like to go there and then have some bonkers conversations with some really, really weird people, and then just come back and just be like, oh, that was a weird holiday.
Yeah. Although I feel like what happens is that because we've said inhabit, you get to pick a universe and you just live there now.
I've got to live there forever. I'll live there and then I will kill Laura Palmer. And then they'll all be chasing me. That's what I'll do.
Yeah. I think while I was going through that, like, Maisel was one that was definitely, like, it would have been third. But I felt like picking 3 answers was a bit of a cop-out. But if I could pick a third answer, I think I would. Basically, I want to go somewhere written by the Paladinos. That's where I want to live.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I'm going to ask you the third question, if that's all right, then.
Oh, please don't. This was difficult.
This was really tough. This is the only one that I have multiple answers for, apart from the one where it requires multiple answers. So we've had a few poorly executed, wonderful ideas. Which of those ideas is your favourite? So which show had the best idea but didn't deliver on it?
So as poorly executed, wonderful idea, I feel this question qualifies. I've never called myself a cunt so often for writing something down, because I'm just like, this is such a difficult question to answer, because because I could have gone back and listened to all the shows that I think we said were a poorly executed good idea.
I can't remember which ones we said.
That is the other problem. Because we basically almost write them off in the moment and go like, I don't retain the bad ideas. But I was clicking through this. I spent about half an hour clicking through the spreadsheet and going like, which of these was a bad idea or a good idea? But all I remember is that I didn't enjoy it. But I found one that I remember sort of enjoying, but not being like
blown away.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was The Crew. So you remember that was a show centered around like a fake racing team, but you just got to see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff in the garage.
Was it the sitcom with your man Paul Blart Mall Cop? Yeah.
And I sort of thought it was fine, but I think it could be great. If you fuck off the whole NASCAR thing and put it in a proper sport, like, I think it could be interesting, like, if you took it, but I don't know if it should be a comedy. That's the only thing. It can be like a Ted Lasso where it's funny but still quite serious.
Not like an out and out sitcom.
Yeah, because I don't, it just doesn't, because without the, I think maybe I've also written this here, might be because I'm a nerd who takes racing a bit too seriously. I quite like seeing the cars, and that's sort of what I would be a bit disappointed with it, because you could hear them going round,
you don't see the racing necessarily, though, do you?
But in that, I think in the first episode, they're testing out a new driver, and they go, "Wow, he's done like a 40-second lap," and instantly he's in the door. I'm like, "He didn't do a warm down lap. If he's just driven, but you can hear the guy go past the door, and then you don't hear it stop, but he's immediately." I'm like, "Oh, just try." Because like racing films and TV, well, I've never seen a racing TV show apart from like Drive to Survive and documentaries. But like they've made films. Like Rush was really good. Brad Pitt's doing one, maybe.
You watched him do it.
Yeah, no, I was at Silverstone when they were doing some filming, and I don't know. It depends how long the strike goes on for as to whether or not we'll ever see the end of that, or it might be over now while you're listening to this. But then I also remember that there are other racing films like Need for Speed and Fast and Furious that are maybe not so good.
And Gran Turismo, which I mean I've not seen, but
I haven't seen it yet. I'll watch it at some point, but I'm not. It will be quite interesting because it's quite a niche story. Well, not so niche anymore. Gamers becoming racing drivers. That's, I believe, quite the done thing now.
What would be good is if they did that for like Call of Duty. So like if you're shit hot at Call of Duty, you're going to the army. Go on,
could
then.
you imagine?
When did we talk about the Crew? Was that last year?
Yeah.
It was season 7. Yeah, we paired it with Ted Lasso actually.
Yeah, which I think is a shame for the Crew, but I think if the Crew had had a more Lasso-ish approach, I think I could even have stomached the NASCAR if it had been better.
I just didn't give a shit about that show. I remember thinking that show just wasn't good.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I like, maybe it is like the side of me that's really interested in racing and stuff, but I think that's why I'm like, it could work, but just not the way you did it. Which I think fully fits the brief of the question. Poorly executed, wonderful idea.
That's a really good answer for it, I think.
Yeah. But I'd do be intrigued. What's your answer for this question? Because I feel like we've both said it quite a lot about very different shows.
So I'll give you my sort of honourable mention, and then I'll give you my actual answer, because in the time we've been chatting, I have decided that one is a definite answer and one is one I was just like, I just wish it was better. You know, so the one that I'm like, I was lukewarm, or not lukewarm, but I was like, I did really enjoy it, but I just wished it was a little better. Just as an aside, I think they're announcing a new Forza game right about now. I'll keep you updated. So the one that I was like, I just wish it was a little better, and perhaps it's because I didn't give it enough time, but is Castle Rock. Like the idea. I
finished season 1 of that.
Oh, did you?
I think season 1 was actually quite good.
Okay, perhaps I'm being a little bit unfair on it then, because I'm like such a big.
It's your question. Just don't know the fact that I quite enjoy. But season 2 different. I think is a different cast, so was less.
Yeah,
interested.
so I don't know. I really like the idea. I really like the idea that they're just taking a bunch of Stephen King characters and then plopping them down, all relatives of those characters, into a show for one thing. I don't know. Perhaps I was after it being a bit more on the nose, like or just a little bit maybe literally like just more actual characters from it, like right off the bat. I thought they did a really interesting thing in having like people who have previously had big roles in Stephen King films and TV shows and stuff. I don't know. I think I'm wanting it to just tell Stephen King stories rather than adapting into like
the bits in between
an original story. Yeah. So but that's my honourable mention, and perhaps I've just not given it enough time. So perhaps that is one I'll revisit. But my actual answer for this one, for a show that I thought had a really good idea, but just wasn't executed well at all, was Archive 81.
Ooh,
Do you remember Archive 81?
Do.
So it's the one where the guy is given like a bunch of VHS tapes and he's told to investigate the tapes, and it was just jank. It was so dull. It was so boring. But that's such a
it's such a fun place to play with, because it's you could start anything you wanted from there. You could start like a thriller, or I think they were going horror, but you could start maybe not a comedy, but you could start most things from there.
Yeah, it could have been so good, like, because then you've got your, and I think just a half-hour thing. You just set it up in the first 15 minutes. Is like, right, he's been sent a bunch of tapes, he's got to look through it all, and over time you realise that there is this overarching conspiracy. Like, I don't know, there are cult members that appear in each one or something, like kind of like there's a series of horror films called Hell House LLC, and they do that cult consistent cult characters like really, really well for a low budget thing.
Is it the same sort of way that like the through story to, I know it's maybe not the best comparison, but Paranormal Activity, where there is sort of a through story, but it's not that important to start with?
I think I get, so in the early films of those, I think is like, it's a nice little, they're connected to the first one. But I don't know. I just think you've suddenly you open yourself up to almost like short horror movies of the week. Like you get, and in fairness, I think they did do this slightly. You get, maybe not. I thought what they did was they got different horror directors to do like each episode. But that surely is the idea. Is you get a bunch of horror directors who are up and coming. You say to them, here's the concept. You have, I don't know,
here are the parameters. Make something within it.
You have 24 minutes to come up with. Someone finds a creepy VHS tape in a collection of VHS tapes. You have to hit these touch points. There has to be this symbol to tie it all together, and this character has to appear in it somewhere. Off you go. Or
if you kept the through line of the guy being in the archive, having to go through them all, so he's the
consistent point. So
then you can give directors time periods to hit, and so we can be looking at VHSs throughout I suppose a reasonable, like, when VHSs existed time frame.
I suppose you've got roughly about 20 years.
Well, I mean, VHSs still exist. You got one in the post recently, didn't you?
That's true. But so that one, I wish it was the show I wanted it to be. And perhaps the podcast is, because it's based on a podcast. So perhaps I will give the podcast a listen. Perhaps that's slightly more successful. But so that's my answer for best show I wish was better.
It is actually quite, I think it's quite a harsh question, because it's like, which show would you have liked if it was better?
So then this one I've actually found quite easy. So the fourth question on your list is: we're both big fans of a limited series. It's probably the best two words that can appear on a Netflix show for me.
Yeah, and this question is: how would you ruin them?
Which limited series would you rewatch indefinitely, or would you watch, indefinitely, if the writing held true? I found this one because immediately my answer for that would be or my instinct is to think Midnight Mass, but I think part of the beauty of that is the fact that it's got that incredible ending. So
that's the thing. I wrote this question. And went,
this was
Joe
bait.
will 100% not say Midnight Mass. He can't, because it has an end.
What have you put for this one?
So I went with
Midnight Mass. You're going to destroy.
I went with Midnight Mass to annoy you. I went with Frequency.
I knew that was going to appear on your list somewhere.
Yeah, because it's one of the ones that I've recommended the most, but I can't remember when we watched it. Was it season?
It was 5, maybe.
Was it that?
It
was season 3.
Season 3. Wow. Yeah, it was a while ago, wasn't it?
But the caveat that I have is that it'll be more like an American Horror Story, where every season you rotate the cast and it's
different character.
So you get a very well written limited series, but they're all called Frequency, and they're all the same premise of somebody
gets through.
Someone's making a call to the past or the future, or
because you could
do
have
to be radios. I mean, I'm just saying, imagine one of the season, it's Alexander Graham Bell. First phone call calls the fucking future.
Oh my god. That's like that's an incredible idea.
But yeah, like sort of that's the idea that I have in my head that it could be. It doesn't even necessarily have to be solving like big crime, because they solve a murder in that, and it's one of the shows that I think I've recommended to the most people outside of the podcast, and it's never like you should listen to our podcast about Frequency because it's great. It's you should watch Frequency and here's why, and I'm like, because it's good. I think it's 10 or 13 episodes. It's very well self-contained, and annoyingly, by thinking about it yesterday and today, I think I might have been on the cusp of being able to rewatch it, but now I've remembered too much about it.
I'm still yet to watch it. So you watched the film as well, didn't you, off the back of it?
No, I found out there was a film.
Oh, okay. I thought you'd watched it.
I think I considered it, but it's basically the same story, and I didn't want to find out that the film had done it better than the series, or find out that the series was better than the film and be disappointed in the film.
Yeah, that's fair.
The thing, I'm happy to leave it where it is, but I think if I were to extend one of the limited series that we've watched, that would be the one I'd take.
Yeah. I do remember watching that and being like, that was amazing, that episode.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, I think that carried on all the way through it, because I think I had pretty much, by the next time we recorded, finished it. Not that that's something I do a lot.
I mean, it's something you become known for. So.
Yeah. But if not Midnight Mass, what would you extend beyond its reasonable life?
I'm going to say my answer, and you're going to go, yeah, that makes sense. So the answer that I put for this one was Garth Marenghi's Dark Place.
Yeah, that makes sense. I wish I'd have thought. But it's sort of one of those ones that I would have put down, but I want more frequency.
Yeah. Well, I got you covered. That's fine. We can watch them. We can watch an episode of Frequency, then an episode of the new Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. The thing is, Garth Marenghi is kind of doing bits again, because so Matt Holness has released 2 books under the name of Garth Marenghi in the last 2 years, and he's toured both of them as well. So I don't know if he's trying to sort of whip up this thing of like, look, there is an audience for this, so maybe it might translate again into some more Dark Place, or a different show with Garth Marenghi at the helm of it or something. But
yeah,
just the idea, because it's almost an unlimited what's the phrase, like vein to mine, is that it?
Yeah,
is that, the right
that makes sense if you mean it can go on forever.
Yeah, it's like a bottomless well, like the amount of like schlocky horror that you could draw on.
And the amount of horror there is to
so
make fun
much
of as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is the thing. You could totally see. Oh well, maybe not with the '80s thing, because it was supposed to be made in the '80s, wasn't it? But him doing a show where he takes the piss out of like what a lot of people call, in inverted commas, elevated horror, which is a term that I cannot stand. So like all your Hereditaries and your Midsummers and all that sort of stuff. I would love to see more sort of, if not Dark Place, then just more Garth Marenghi doing something around horror. I would love that.
Yeah, it's annoying because while I really enjoyed it, I didn't actually know what it was called for the longest time, because I got it confused with Kingdom Hospital, which is understandable because they're both set in hospitals. But then it's one of those ones that I'm kind of like, I can almost see why there isn't more of it, because it, like Firefly, it stops being culty if there's a lot of it.
Yeah, I suppose that's kind of true. Yeah.
But then I suppose ultimately, what you don't want a show that you've made to become is one of those ones that people love for the lack of it.
Yeah, so it's like, a lot of people saying they wanted a third series of Spaced, but actually I think had they done a third series, it probably would have lost something to it. So
yeah, I don't even think they should have made one season of Firefly.
You're thinking of that iTunes review, aren't you?
I maintain that I am correct in my dislike of Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, no, you're right in Firefly. He's all right in other stuff, but in Firefly can get in the bin.
Yeah, I mean, the trouble is he just sort of exists and his face always looks like that. And he's basically the same character and everything. Sort of like
Yes.
somehow always middle-aged.
Yeah, he's been middle-aged all the way through me thinking about him. I hadn't realised that. My default memory of Nathan Fillion is, he's about 40-ish. But he's been about 40-ish for about 20 years.
Yeah. It's because, right, he is the leader of a cult.
Ah, is that what it is?
He could even be a Scientologist. He, but
It's
who
the
knows?
orgons. Okay, so this next question I think might be my favourite question. So I think we were discussing this. We were talking about Muppets Christmas Carol, and obviously that's got one. There are human extras, isn't there? But like one main sort of human main character.
I think it's one of those questions I see floating around on Twitter quite a lot.
Yeah. If you had to replace the whole cast bar one of a TV show with Muppets, which show would you pick and which character would stay as a human?
So
I really want to know what you put for this.
I took the executive decision of, because we've watched near enough 400 shows, I'll give myself 3 answers.
Oh my god. Okay. I do only have the one, but
It's just because
you go
I
for it.
wanted to have like sort of 1 in 100. So my first answer is Reacher.
Well, I'll tell you what. I was going to say, what if you tell me the show and I'll try and guess which character
Okay, yeah.
stays? Well, I mean, obviously it's Reacher. Is he just beating the shit out of Muppets?
Yeah. Because the thing is, even so, in that show anyway, he's a fucking giant. Like, he's too big to be reasonably fighting anyone.
Oh, that's really good. Just kicking the shit out of Beaker.
Yeah, like, and I think it would. I mean, I think it would change the show a bit. I think it would be a little bit less serious.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, but I just imagine him like just picking up a Muppet and just ripping it in half. Like, it wouldn't be a show suitable for kids.
Yeah.
As also is Reacher.
Okay, it's a good start.
Okay.
I really like that the image of him just beating the fuck out of a big puppet.
Okay, so my second answer, Hannibal. Who am I keeping?
I think you keep Hannibal, so he just eats a load of Muppets, right?
No, sadly, I keep Will.
Which Muppet plays Hannibal?
The Count.
Surely it's Swedish Chef.
Or Cookie Monster.
You put the human in the put. Oh, Cookie Monster's a great show.
Yeah, he turns Will's head into a cookie jar.
I like it.
I also, I didn't know where else Hannibal was going to appear on this list.
Sure.
And I felt like it was important to mention it. But yeah, I feel like keeping Hannibal feels obvious because you guessed it. And like, Will's already struggling enough to like understand if he's losing his mind or not. And I feel like if he was looking around and he was like, why am I the only one who looks like this? Why am I not fuzzy to the touch?
Okay.
And
that's number 2.
Answer the third. Ted Lasso. Who am I keeping?
Roy.
Oh, you got it in one. Yeah. Keep Roy. Because I can't imagine. Well, I mean, his hairstyle would look appropriate on a puppet.
Yeah.
But it would just his angry voice against Muppets.
He's a massive fan of Muppets as well. Or is it Sesame Street? Brett Goldstein. Like, he's done the Muppets or the Muppet Show or Sesame Street. I can't remember which one, but he has actually been on the show. That would be incredible. I feel like Fozzie would be a good Ted for that one. Or Coach Beard, actually. Fozzie would be a good Coach Beard if Kermit is then Ted.
Yeah. I think Miss Piggy would make a good Jamie.
Yeah, I'm sold on that one. I'm trying to think who like Statler and Waldorf would be. They'd probably be the fans in the pub, wouldn't they? With May. I do like Statler and Waldorf. They're funny.
Yeah. That's the thing. I think there would be a smattering of characters you'd want to keep as well. But Roy's, Roy's top of the list.
Yeah, definitely. That would be so funny. Him just swearing at a puppet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good.
So, if you had to replace the cast of a TV show with Muppets except one character, what show is it?
So the show that I've picked is 11/22/63.
Oh. Keep JFK?
No, I've gone the other way. I keep Oswald. He's in it for like 5 seconds at the end, and he's the only human.
I like that. That's a good callback. I'd sort of forgotten we watched that.
I think, did we watch that and then get the book, or had we started going through the book first?
No, we watched that, and then that's when I discovered Stephen King.
Oh, I forgot you discovered.
Yeah.
Stephen King. I just think it'd be really funny just for the scene where like you go through the whole show, and then right towards the end, he just bursts through the door of the book depository, look up, and it's actually just someone playing Lee Harvey Oswald.
That would be brilliant, because you would be lured into this is just a Muppet.
Oh, it's just a Muppet show.
It's just a Muppet show. And then at the end, some guy turns up and shoots a Muppet.
Oh, it would be a proper, like, there'd be stuffing going everywhere. And Miss Piggy's climbing out the back of the limo trying to reach, what's his chops, the security guard that jumps on the back, who's played by, like, I don't know, Rizzo or something.
Yeah, I like that answer. I actually like all of the answers we've come up with.
Yeah, they're really good fun. I enjoy that. I really like the idea of Reacher just pulling them apart as well.
Yeah, it's in the same way that we both have the same film answer, but we both keep different characters. Because we both go train spotting, because it's just the darkest situation you could put the Muppets in. But you keep Begbie, I keep Renton.
Definitely keep Begbie for that one. Just for throwing the glass over the back.
Yeah.
They would be so terrified of him. Like, they're terrified of him in human form. If they were Muppets, they'd be shitting themselves. I like that question. That was good fun. It was a good little thought experiment.
Yeah.
All right. If you had to blend two shows, which two would they be, and what would they be like? So I reckon we might have done something similar here.
What I've done is I've gone, I think, a little rogue.
Okay.
So I would like to blend Game of Thrones with The Traitors.
Oh, that's such a good shout.
And it's basically the game of The Traitors, except instead of the money, you win the Iron Throne.
But the murders and the banishments are real as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
you
so
get banished.
good.
You get banished to the wall. It's I can't remember her name, but Shame Lady is the host.
Oh, you mean
Rebecca
I
can't remember her
from Ted Lasso?
Yes, that is basically. I just want to give her a job, and yeah, the murders are real, obviously.
Oh, that's so good.
And yeah, that's pretty much.
It writes itself, that one. That would be so good. It does.
I think that it's also. I think because I toyed with. I was going to merge the traitors with something.
Yeah.
And it was trying to find the best cast of characters to put in.
Yeah, no, that 100% works. That's really good.
Yeah, I genuinely read through the questions, looked at that, and went, "Yeah, I reckon these two," and just went like, "Yeah, I think I fucking nailed that question."
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a better answer than mine, anyway, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, shall we hear it? What is your inferior answer?
So the two shows that I would like to blend are Entourage and The Last of Us.
Oh,
I think for obvious reasons. I want
Yeah.
them all to get the cordyceps thing, or survive for a bit, but then ultimately have a gruesome and bloody death, all of them. But I really want them to suffer, like, a lot.
Yeah,
All
you
the
could
people
bet
from
them with
Entourage.
Hannibal. He kills people.
No, he's too good for them. Like,
Yeah,
The Last of Us world is minging, like, and everyone does minging shit in it. So I know that if they're dying in that, they're not dying well. I did think initially Chernobyl and Entourage.
I did toy with that idea of like just basically doing the same thing and trying to find a way to kill those characters.
And also, not Entourage, Chernobyl was one of the shows I had for the idea of swapping out with the Muppets. And then the only person who stays is, your man who's in Friday Night Dinner, but he's terrifying in Chernobyl, just to scream at them.
Yeah, no, I like that. And also, it would ruin The Last of Us a bit.
No, because they'd only be in it for a second and then it just turns into The Last of Us. Like, they're really gruesome, horrible, bloody deaths, or like minging illness, and they really suffer for a long time.
But just think of those actors getting to stand on stage and possibly win an award by being in The Last of Us, even for a second.
I don't think you can win an award when you're covered in shit, which is what would happen. That they would be covered in. I would demand that their characters are covered in shit, head to toe, in shit.
Yeah, but you tell them it's fake shit, but it's actually real shit, right?
Yeah, they're method actors, remember. So,
Are they?
well, they would.
I
be
suppose they could be bigots. So, what's the next question?
This one, like, I struggled with until I got the answers like that. Like, I was looking at this and I was thinking, I do not know what to put for this. And then all of a sudden, I just had all three in my head at the same time. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
this is done.
I did much the same.
If
It was
you
trying to find the Lorelei, I think.
If you had, definitely, that was the one I struggled with the most. If you had to recast the Gilmore Girls, who would you have playing Emily, Lorelei, and Rory?
Yeah, so getting my Lorelei was difficult, but I got a Lorelei.
Mm-hmm. How do you want to do this? Do you want to go like character for character, like you say and then I say, or do you want to do all three
we could
yours?
do. What I would love is if we ended up with the same three characters, but
I don't think we will do.
there is a world of actors out there. So who do you want to start with? Emily, Lorelei, Rory? Pick a girl.
You pick. I don't mind.
Should we start Emily? Because I feel like that
Okay.
won't give away my theme too much.
Oh, yours is a thing. Okay.
Mine, like, it works. So I've gone Jamie Presley for my Emily. She was in My Name is Earl.
Just bear with. I don't know who that. This is your Emily.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think she might be a little young for an Emily, but that's what.
Born
Aging up makes us
1977. What's that? 30 something. 46. Sorry. Yeah.
So not
That's a little
off. From, like,
it's a
pilot.
little young. Yeah.
because I think in the pilot, Lorelei's 32, Rory's 16. So about 40, 50 is not entirely the wrong age.
Yeah.
So who was your Emily?
Okay. My Emily was Annette Bening. Just let you Google who Annette Bening is.
Yep. Oh yeah, I can see that.
Do you recognise her at all? You've seen her and stuff.
Well, I can see here that she was in American Beauty. Which,
Yeah. Have you seen that?
Yeah, we did it
Okay.
for co-directors.
Oh yeah, it was Sam Mendes, didn't we? Yeah. So she's the mum in American Beauty, and I think she's sort of she's just she's an incredible actress anyway. But I think this puts her in the right sort of age, and I feel like she would absolutely be able to play that character. Like she could totally do like well-to-do upper class sort of, I don't want to say like posh American, but like that's what they are. So she could 100% do that.
Yeah, I just googled it. Emily Gilmore was about 52.
Oh, really? Okay, so yeah, yours isn't too far off then. Mine's slightly older.
I mean, I'm not saying that like there isn't a right answer to this because the
No.
original cast is perfect. It was
Yeah.
just a
That was what I struggled with.
it was just
'Cause I
a
was like-
nice Gilmore Girls question to put in.
Yeah. Okay, so who then did you have? Which way do you want to go now? Do you want to go down the generations?
Down
to
the
Lorelai?
generations, I think.
All right, who is your Lorelai?
So my Lorelai, I went for Margot Robbie.
For fuck's sake! Oh, so see what your theme is now.
Yeah, it's people who look like Margot Robbie.
Oh, I know who your Rory is. Wait,
Actually, no. There's a few options.
Yeah,
but
I've narrowed it down to 2. Okay, yeah. Do you know what? I can see her doing that. I could see her doing that role quite well.
We might have to move the whole of Stars Hollow to Australia, but oh no, she does a. She might need to a little. Yeah, she can do an accent, I reckon.
She could do New York very well, and they're in Connecticut, which is only over the road. Well,
Yeah.
down the road, I suppose.
But I suppose it's a little bit of a toned down New York from New York in fucking what's it called, Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, and the Harley Quinn stuff because it's the same accent.
Yeah, so just a tone down a bit of that, and then it'll be fine. But
Nice.
your Lorelai?
I've also gone Antipodean, so I'm also going for somebody who hails from Australia. My Lorelai, I've gone for Toni Collette because she's my favourite actor. So, and
That
I've
also feels like a good way to do it.
yeah. So I've gone for people who I think are well good at acting, rather than just you want to shag all 3 of them, you fucking maniac.
It was, I mean, that and like, I feel like what they did when they cast Gilmore Girls was they got people who looked like they could be related. So I went with Margot Robbie and her clones.
I suppose it's not really something I pay much attention to. It's like I just always take it as a given that if a story is saying to me, "Oh, these people are related," I'm just sort of like, "Yeah, that's fine."
Yeah, but that's the thing. Even if you, I think, look at some of the promo stuff, they genuinely look like they could be a family.
Yeah,
It's the same with like look at Luke and Jess. Like you can see
yeah, that's true.
familial relation. Like it's quite because almost without the story needing to tell you that they're related, you can be like, "Oh, I reckon,"
Yeah,
and then you go, "Yeah, but Dean's a cunt," and it's fine.
okay, that's not bad. I can see. Oh yeah, I do see where you're going with this one. So
Yeah, it got a lot less subtle when I went.
your Rory then is either, I can't remember her name, but she plays Maeve in Sex Education, or it's Samara Weaving, isn't it?
It's Emma Mackey who plays.
Yeah, there you go,
in
Emma
Sex
Mackey.
Education, yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Who I saw for the first time in a perfume advert today. It was a bit
Oh.
strange.
Yeah, she is possibly actually a bit old to play a 16-year-old, but then so
How
was
old are they
Lane.
supposed to be? That's true. In Sex Education, they're supposed to be
Like
sixth form, innit?
16, 17, 18, that sort of age.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. But yeah, those are my Margot Robbie clones for my recasting of Gilmore Girls.
Nice.
Who
Yeah,
would
it
be your
tracks
Rory?
out. So my Rory, I have gone for Kiernan Shipka, who you'll know from The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, who again probably now slightly too old to play 16, but again I just went with people who I think are well good at acting again.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've gone for people who are bad.
No, that's very very true.
It's
but
just it's a good balance
there's a
between
definite through
like
line.
look at them and also like yeah, they can act.
So yeah, that's my my 3 Gilmore Girls recasting. Obviously, we wouldn't recast them because, like we say, they're just too good.
Also, we don't have the power.
Yeah, or anywhere near the amount of money that we would need
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah, like I mean, I've significantly increased the budget required
Jesus Christ, yeah.
to do Gilmore Girls, a new Gilmore Girls season.
Yeah, the trouble is that there was so little money left over that they actually just had to use puppets for the rest of the cast.
I guess, back on the Muppet question, if you had to leave one character in Gilmore Girls as a person and replace the rest, who stays?
See, immediately I kind of... My instinct's to say Kirk.
My instinct would be Luke, because he's angry anyway. It's the
That's
same sort of
very
reason
true.
as keeping Roy.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny to see people be angry at puppets.
Angry with Muppets, yeah. Yeah, Luke... Well, I was going to say, or Jess, but then there's a big gap where Jess just isn't in it, so it would just be
or
watching
Taylor.
Muppets. Nah, I don't think Taylor's too annoying for you to enjoy his company, I suppose.
Yeah. But also,
I think Luke's a good shout.
Yeah. I feel like Luke's... Because he's also there he's in most episodes, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I'd just throw in that bonus question that I just thought of.
It's not bad.
That was what the original question was going to be. But then I was like, we can only really have
Let's
a quick
widen it
discussion.
out. Yeah. We've got a game to play now, though, haven't we?
Yeah.
So this is going to be... this is strange. My Word document's got some Elden Ring instructions copied into it that I didn't know I'd left in there. So I'll just go with that.
Those are important to keep.
So the game we came up with, do you want to explain it? Because you had the better prompt. Because my prompt was like real wordy and rubbish.
What we have done is we've decided to let AI write some of the next bit of the podcast. And we are going to be reading from scripts that ChatGPT has written us based on the pilots of a TV show. It's trying to leave out character names. Mine has done a fucking shite job of it.
Yeah, it's not quite understood the idea of that, but mine's done an alright job, and I'll be able to work my way
what mine
around
has
it.
done is given you very generic like character names, but then in the actual like lines, it's just like, so we're going to go see this character, huh?
Mine has just got like literally, it's called protagonist, and then a bit later there's like, who else have we got? Teacher or something is here somewhere, but
Yeah, I've got mother, father, daughter. I very nearly just,
for fuck's sake,
and that
this whole thing would have been bollocks.
Yeah.
Right, you do yours first. Go on, and then I've got to guess which episode, which TV show this is. The new pilot from.
I think you're going to struggle, and this document is...
I think you're going to get it straight away.
Yeah, it's only 100 lines, so it's not too bad. So, interior, British family living room. Morning. The family is seated around the breakfast table, sipping tea and munching toast. The atmosphere is tranquil and predictable. Mother.
The atmosphere is predictable. What does that mean?
I don't know, stodgy, British.
I knew you were going to say that.
Exactly. Mother. So, any plans for the day, dear? Father. Same old routine, I suppose. Daughter. Actually, I'm picking up Redacted from the airport today. Father. Peering over his newspaper. Redacted? Who's that? Daughter. Smirking. He's my boyfriend, remember? I've told you about him. Father. Oh, right, the one who's always travelling and doing what again? Daughter. He's a bit of an adventurer, you'll see. Any ideas from that first little scene?
Initially, I thought it was going down the sort of Gavin and Stacey route, but like adventurer is a very strange thing to pick up on. So the only thing that I can think now is I'm feeling like it's slightly Doctor Who-y, but nothing like I'm not going, this is definitely this.
Okay. I've just got to expand my thing a little bit. I didn't realise that some of the lines went off the screen. Okay, so next scene. Interior, airport, day. The daughter walks excitedly by the arrival gate. Passengers stream out and suddenly a burst of energy arrives in the form of Redacted. He's dressed in flamboyant clothes and carrying an exotic-looking backpack. Daughter excitedly shouts his fucking name. So, Redacted! He says, hey there, my love. Miss me? They embrace passionately, drawing a mix of amused and bewildered looks from other travellers. That is the entire second scene.
Is that the end of the whole thing?
No, that's the end of that
Okay.
second. I'm sort of slowing it down and stopping at the interior so I can have a break from talking.
Okay.
I'm assuming that no ideas.
I know. I'm starting to get, I think, a very clear idea of what I reckon this might be. So I'm not going to take another guess until you get to the end of it.
You
But
bastard.
I think I might have it.
I thought it was quite subtle, and I wasn't actually sure if you'd get it.
If I'm right, then there was one significant detail about a description of something that has made me think, oh, hang on a minute.
It's the flamboyant clothing, isn't it?
Go on.
Interior, living room, later. Like a nice specific time of day, just later. Redacted, full of charisma, enters the family's living room. His presence alone commands attention. Redacted says, well, hello everyone. The legendary family I've heard so much about. Father, looking at him skeptically.
I've definitely got this.
Legendary? Redacted. Winks. Oh, just tells of your incredible breakfast conversation and heated debates about tea and crumpets. Mother, well, we do have our moments. Redacted, smirking. Speaking of moments, let me tell you about my latest adventure in the Amazon rainforest. The family exchanges glances, intrigued by Redacted's animated storytelling. And because you've refused to fucking guess, interior living room night. The living room is in disarray, with maps, artifacts, and exotic trinkets scattered all around. Redacted is passionately sharing tales of his travels. And that's when I wrestled an anaconda with my bare hands. Daughter, impressed. Wow, Redacted, you're so incredible. Father, raising an eyebrow. Quite the story. Redacted. Life's too short for ordinary, my friend.
My friend.
The father seems amused, but also a little bit bewildered by Redacted's eclectic charm. Not eclectic, eccentric. Those are two very different things.
Meaning kind of similar, though, I suppose.
Yeah. But that is my presentation of the pilot for which show?
Okay, I think that was... And it was very well read, I must say. I would say well written, but you didn't write it, so nope. I think that is the brand new pilot for a remake of Cuckoo.
You bastard! But yes, there is also a legal disclaimer at the bottom. Please note that this scene is a fictional creation based on the premise of Cuckoo. It captures the introduction of Cuckoo and into his family's life, his unique personality, and disrupts their ordinary routine. The actual pilot episode contains more humour and interactions between characters.
Nice. Okay.
I thought it was important to get the legal bit out.
Yeah, because that's the last thing we need is, Johnny Law on our backs.
Yeah. But could you imagine if it went to trial, right? That would be the most people who'd ever listen to this podcast at once. And we call them the jury.
12 Angry Men. That has just reminded me of a book that I need to recommend to you. I'll do that after this, though, probably. Okay. Yeah, that was very, 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 very good.
I will not lie to you. I burned through about 8 shows by reading through them and going like, no, he'll get that. And I thought it had been long enough since we'd done Cuckoo that you might have forgotten it.
If I hadn't had the, I think I would have got it, but I think I probably would have forgotten the name of the show. Like, I know the one you mean, but
what you mean? Redacted wasn't a good enough hit.
Yeah. So I've done something similar. So I started off trying to write a script for one. So what I'll do, this isn't my actual one, but what I'll do, I'll just give you a quick idea of how quickly this idea wouldn't work as a script to read out to you. Okay. So I said, write me the script for a pilot episode of Redacted, but do not mention any character names. Okay. See how quickly you can get this, right? Okay. Title, pilot. Interior, tavern, night. The camera pans through a dimly lit tavern filled with raucous pirates.
It's Black Sails.
There you go. So I was like, well, that one's out then. Okay. I also tried to do one. see if you can guess which one. This is also, again, not my actual one. But see how quickly you can guess what show this is. Okay. Interior, small apartment, living room, morning. The camera captures a cluttered and cosy living room. Empty pizza boxes, discarded clothes and takeout containers lie scattered around. It's a typical messy bachelor pad. Her, a dishevelled young woman with a sense of humour, is sprawled out on the sofa, watching TV in her pyjamas. Her laughs at TV. Classic sitcoms never get old. Him, a laid-back guy in his 20s, stands in front of a coffee maker.
I want to... That one's actually quite difficult.
It's not. There are two massive clues in that one.
Oh, it's him and her.
There you go. That's why it wouldn't work, because they're called him and her, for fuck's sake. Right, now for my actual one. Are you ready? I
don't think they had a coffee maker.
No, they didn't.
They had a kettle.
Yeah.
And they drank tea, like proper people.
Or beer. This one, I reading it again, I think you're probably going to get this quite quickly. Okay, so this is my actual entry for this. Interior, child's bedroom, night. The camera pans through a dimly lit, cluttered childhood bedroom. Toys, drawings, and books cover the shelves. The room feels slightly eerie. Protagonist, an adult, stands in the room, gazing at an unsettling painting, I don't know why painting is in caps, on the wall. Protagonist, whispering to themselves, "It all started here." Interior, small town, day. The camera transitions to a quiet small town, where everyone seems to know each other's business. The town has an air of unease. Protagonist, now a teacher, walks towards the local elementary school. Protagonist, narrating, "I thought I'd left it all behind, but..." Interior, elementary school classroom, day. Protagonist teaches a group of children. Their expressions are distant, as if lost in their own thoughts. Protagonist, realising, it never truly left. Any ideas so far?
I'm trying to think of a show that we've done that is a teacher. Could be teachers.
I wouldn't necessarily concentrate on that side of things. Shall I continue?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Exterior, small town, day. The camera captures glimpses of odd occurrences around town. Flickering streetlights, disappearing pets. I hadn't read this before. And strange symbols etched onto buildings. Protagonist confused. Something is very wrong here. No shit. Interior, library, day. Protagonist investigates the town's history in the library. Old newspaper clippings tell of a series of mysterious disappearances. Librarian whispers, "Some secrets are best left buried." Exterior, woods, night. Protagonist ventures into Protagonist ventures into the dark woods, following a trail of eerie glowing lights. Protagonist determined, "I have to find out the truth." Interior, abandoned house, night. Protagonist enters an abandoned house, discovering a hidden room filled with strange artifacts and journals. Protagonist, shocked, "This is where it all began. I thought the fucking bedroom was where it all began." Anyway. Interior, elementary school basement, night. Protagonist, this is, let me tell you, this is quite the stage direction. for 2 lines. Protagonist unravels a terrifying conspiracy linking the town's strange occurrences to the elementary school basement. Protagonist whispers, "It's been feeding on our fears." Interior, small town, night. How's that interior, small town? Anyway, protagonist confronts the town's residents who seem possessed by an unknown entity. Protagonist desperate, "You have to fight it." Any ideas now?
It sounds very Midnight Massy.
It's wild, actually. I'm realising how actually quite far away from what it was. Exterior, small town, night. A chaotic showdown unfolds as the town's residents battle the entity, using their collective fear as a weapon. That's quite cool. Protagonist, resolute. "This ends now." Interior, childhood bedroom, night. Protagonist returns to the childhood bedroom, facing the painting once more. Protagonist determines, "I won't let it take me." The room begins to transform, revealing the horrifying truth behind the entity. Fade out. End of pilot episode.
It sounds kind of Stephen King-y as well. But... that's a lot for a pilot. It sounds more like a film.
Well, you're you might be stumbling upon something to do with the format of the show in that if there's quite a lot in just the one thing.
Oh, it's a limited series.
Of sorts.
Wait, is it one of those like two-parters that we did?
No, it's not quite a two-part. I'd see this now. It is quite a bit harder than I first thought. I thought you'd get this quite quickly. Because
the trouble is, I think there's so many shows.
We've done quite a lot of Because as I was reading it, I was like, it does sound like Twin Peaks.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to have a flick through the. Could be, or it could be a rogue like Are You Afraid of the Dark? Maybe no, not Channel Zero, because the Channel Zero would have at least mentioned TV.
I don't know. Maybe stick on that.
Well, I want to throw my guess in the ring as Channel Zero.
Hey,
it was very obvious the way it didn't mention TV at all.
Not all of them do. In fairness, like the second series has nothing to do with TV.
Yeah. I suppose what we weren't asking it to write the pilot.
No. It was just like a pilot. I thought it was like
that might have been the difference. I think my prompt might have used the pilot.
Okay.
Because mine is actually based on the pilot episode of Cuckoo. As the legal disclaimer at the end did inform you.
Oh, that's very true. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Maybe we should do one of those again with every sort of...
Shall we make it a regular feature for the top 5 episodes at the end of the year?
Episode. That's what I was trying to say. I couldn't think of what
or we could just do a bonus... Like, we could just do them whenever we want. Just do bonus episodes.
Yeah. Works for me. I enjoyed that game. That was good fun.
Yeah. I found it surprising. I can't remember the last time I actually read a script.
Yeah, no, probably not since uni.
Maybe not since primary school.
Not since those videos that show like the scene and then show like the script scrolling underneath it that you used to get. You don't see so much anymore.
Yeah, I see them all. I get them fed to me as TikToks occasionally.
I have uninstalled TikTok because it was destroying my
I say
brain.
TikToks. What I mean is that like I get to see them 3 weeks later on Instagram.
Yeah, that's what Lisa does. She always sends me stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, I saw this like ages ago."
Yeah, I think so. I sent you a reel earlier that I thought was pretty funny. Should have a look at it at some point, but don't worry about it.
Maybe, might do. Yeah, no, we do.
But I suppose the only thing that's left is to say, I guess, thank you if you've listened to an hour and 20 minutes of us waffling, and not
Is
actually
that how long we've been recording for? Wow.
And not actually talking
Feature-length.
about any new TV shows that we've watched, but every 100 episodes or so we have a little bit of a relax and
A reflect.
yeah,
A look back. A reverie.
yeah, I look back to see what weird questions we can ask each other, because we're running out of normal stuff to talk about.
Hey, here's something that's very strange. We've only got 5 more episodes left in Series 8. And then we're on Season 9, baby!
Yeah, these 100 episodes like always fall in such weird places. Like, it'd be nice if for once they just fall at like the end of the year. But yeah, no, we've got some good stuff coming up. And we've done some good stuff in the past.
We have. I'm quite looking forward to doing the top 5 episode for this year. Because there's been some bangers. And there's been some utter shite. So.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean, the Traitors US. Oh, fucking Halo as well. God.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, there's been some pretty good
Come
stuff
on.
this year, but some also pretty good.
We're talking of things to look forward to. What have we got next week?
It's Yellowstone and Mayor of Kingstown.
So,
Yellowstone I've heard about.
It's a western, right?
I don't know. I think it's just set in Yellowstone, and as far as I'm aware, they're not going to finish it.
Oh, okay. It's neo-western. Oh, it's got your man Kevin Costner in it. So that'll be fun.
I think he's quit now though, and they haven't finished filming it.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that. That's a bit awkward, isn't it? And Mayor of Kingstown. I don't know what that is. Jeremy Renner's in it, so it's him versus Snowplow again, probably.
That is not a fight he's going to win.
He's part of a family called McCluskey. This is going to be great. All right, cool. Well,
But yeah,
that was fun. It's 200 more. 200 more.
I think the actual chant is stop the count.
Ah, you're one of them.
No.